When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink, but I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds. I love chic branding, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Zoe, and you're listening to Climbing in Heels for your weekly dose of glamour, inspiration, and, of course, fun. Today, I am truly honored to have Anastasia Soare on the podcast. She is the powerhouse esthetician behind Anastasia of Beverly Hills and the absolute queen of eyebrows. Her story about moving to the U.S. from Romania and forging her own path in the beauty industry is so inspiring. I could literally listen to her all day. She is truly an artist in the actual literal sense of being an artist, and I'm so incredibly happy to share her story with all of you. So let's jump right in. I'm so excited to have you on. You're one of my most favorite entrepreneurs, but more importantly, female founded and the queen of all things. So your story is one of my favorites. And I really, I started climbing in heels because, what's funny is you really are such a good example of someone who climbs in heels, because a lot of times I'll have people on and they're like, Rachel, I won't wear heels. And I'm like, it's tongue in cheek. This is not literal.
You will not cut me dead without my heels, okay?
I know.
It is no way. I am a different person when I'm in heels versus if I'm in flats.
Same.
My personality changes.
Same. And I think, and my guess is you've been wearing heels from the minute you could, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I was born. I came out of my wound in heels. I love it.
Well, I wanted to really share with the Climbing in Heels listeners, like I've known you, honestly, it's so funny because I'm like, oh, I've known her for 20 years. And obviously I think it's actually more than that now, because I first met you when you were doing the brows of all of my clients before. Yes. Like with my very first, I think it was Jen Garner, back in 2003. And I remember very clearly, they would schedule me to come in for a fitting, but they would be like, wait, she's Anastasia. So it was always, you were first, right? Like brows first, brows. And I just remember this woman is the most unbelievable, mind-blowing woman. And I'm like, I have watched you soar to and still soaring by the day.
I'm still working on my success, trust me.
But it's incredible. And I want to share a little bit because I think your story is so extraordinary. And I think it's important because I think so many women look at successful women and they're like, how did she get there? She must have known this person, or this, and this. She just climbed. You didn't climb. You actually had the talent and the foresight, I should say, to choose a path that no one else had ever chosen. Because I would argue to say you were absolutely the first and still by far and away the most iconic in not just brows, of course, now, but that's obviously how it started, but then launching your brand. So I want to talk to you first. Please tell me when and how you came to the U.S. and where you were born.
Well, I was born in Romania, and during the harsh time in a communist regime, I decided to emigrate to United States. It wasn't easy, but I got here in the early 90s, and it wasn't easy. I have to admit, I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have the money. So it was a difficult journey.
And were you scared? You must have been terrified.
Absolutely, I was terrified. Terrified, yes. I wanted to go back, but we couldn't go back.
And how old were you at that point? Were you a teenager? Were you?
Oh, I was 30. Okay.
You were 30. Okay. Okay.
I was older. I mean, in terms of when you come here, when you are 18 or 15, it's easier. You go to school, at least you make friends going to school. I was 30 years old.
Wow.
Not easy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you were married? You were married or not married at that time? Or
yes. I was married, yes.
And your daughter, your magical daughter.
Yeah, my magical daughter was a baby.
Oh my goodness. And so you came here married with a baby when you were 30 years old. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Exact. Exact. Yes. Figure it out.
See, that layers a whole nother bit of fear when you're a mother. I mean,
of course. It's not about you anymore. You have to, you know what that means.
Of course.
It's not about you. And not only that, but you have to, is the fear of what I'm going to do. What I don't know anything. I don't speak the language. I think I'm pretty smart, but it doesn't matter because I cannot express myself.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The first 6 months, I think I cried every day.
And so what did you do? So did you come here as a makeup artist? Did you know anything about eyebrows? Like how did this even happen?
No. I used to go myself in Romania, get my facials. My mother every Sunday used to go to beauty parlor since I was a little girl, and she would take me with her, thinking that she could spend some time with me. And I will get my later on when I got older, I will get my facial and they will tweeze my eyebrows. Well, at that time in Romania, in the 80s, the fashion was pencil thin round eyebrows.
Oh, I know. I know. And I didn't do it, by the way. I didn't do it.
No rules of what is the best for your face, and was just tweezing. And I came here, and before I came here, I went to beauty school in Romania because my husband suggested I should go in that business because there were a lot of Romanians that obviously emigrated in Los Angeles, and they didn't speak very well the language, were doctors, professors, whatever they were doing in Romania, but in United States, they became estheticians, and they had successful career. And I went to beauty school in Romania, and when I came here, I had already a license. And fortunately, after 6 months, I met a friend of my husband, and his wife worked in a salon on Melrose Place called Giovanna Utah. And by the way, in the 90s, there were not too many salons in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles. There were probably 7, I should say. Was Umberto, Juan Salon, and this boutique Privet. No, I don't know if it was Privet. Not even at that time. He came later on. But this boutique, beautiful store where is Veronica Bird right now on Melrose Place. There were only antique stores, and was a hair salon and this facial skin and body care salon. And my husband's friend introduced me to his wife, Mihaela. She was pregnant at that time, and she wanted to take 3 months off. So for her to take those 3 months was kind of scary because she was afraid they will replace her, because you can't keep a room empty for 3 months because there were customers that needed to be taken care of. So we made a deal. She said, I will introduce you. You could work there until I come back for 3 months. You have a chance to kind of, be introduced to this new world of esthetician in Los Angeles. I was very thankful, and I started working there.
Wow. And then at what point does that become, I want to become the queen of eyebrows? Which I'm sure you never even said, by the way, right?
Never. What was interesting in Romania, actually, because I start kind of going back and trying to figure out how that came in my mind. In Romania, there were no cameras, okay? You went to a studio for a wedding and you will take your picture with the entire family, but you didn't take like today, let's take a picture with your camera, or even the disposable camera didn't exist. So when I came here, I bought a camera and we start taking pictures. And I kind of look at myself and I realized that pencil thin round eyebrow made me look surprised. And it kind of dawned to me that my art teacher always said, if you want to draw a portrait and you want to change an emotion, you change the eyebrows. If you want to draw an angry person, you just change the eyebrows, or a sad, or surprise.
Yep.
And we did several studies, and of course we studied the Leonardo da Vinci theory using golden ratio on all his art. And I started going to the library and kind of revisit the Leonardo da Vinci theory and all his study on the human body and human face as well. So he did several studies, but he didn't ever talk about eyebrows. And of course, I start digging deep into that, and I wanted to fix my own eyebrows. And I fix my eyebrows and I will go to work and people will say, wow, you look different. You look rested. Something is different about you. They didn't know exactly what. And because what is very important to know is that a well-shaped eyebrows kind of creates a balance and proportion with your figure. And the human eye is encoded to recognize that. So they look at you and they think, wow, this is pretty. Something is great. It's a harmony within the picture of your face. So then I start challenging myself. I wanted to do that for my client. And that was the beginning.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And then so I remember, for as long as I can remember, it started as a very little shop on Bedford in Beverly Hills. And then kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I first rented a room because the owner of the salon, they didn't allow me to do eyebrows. And I decided to open to rent a small little room in Juan Salon. Was exactly across the street from iMagnin. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
Magnin's, Saks, and Neiman Marcus, the three department stores. And this place was across the street. And I rented a tiny little room, no windows at the beginning. And I started doing facial and body waxing, but I loved to explore eyebrows. And those were the beginning of creating that technique on shaping eyebrows according to everybody's bone structure and using the golden ratio. So I started doing that in 92 until 96. Of course, I moved when one room with windows was available. I moved in another room and I started really working extensively, doing facial, body waxing, but I was doing a lot of eyebrows. And I realized that there were not eyebrow products for eyebrows. So I was mixing aloe vera with some eyeshadow and Vaseline to create a pomade. I went to the art store and bought some brushes. I used to cut them, angle cut, because they were not those brushes. And by 96, I realized that I need to do something more. And I decided to go to Italy and find a manufacturer to make the products. And 97, I moved to the Bedford store that you know.
Yep.
And in 98, 99, I launched the product line. And that was
it was that long ago. Jesus, I feel like it was like 5 years ago.
I know.
That is crazy, because I remember the very first like Anastasia brow thing, and I was like, oh my God, we can all.
Oh, everybody. That was the hottest place in town.
But, it's interesting because I think obviously you know this better than anyone. As you get older, you don't need to maintain them as much because you're adding instead of subtracting. Right. Yes. But because of your products, I have always felt like I think you were the last person to ever touch my brows. And then and now I don't feel like I can even leave my bathroom without like
eyebrows.
the eyebrows, because, and I have your pencils and I use the thin one and the thicker one and the brush and the gel and and then all of a sudden I feel like I woke up, right? Like I feel like I woke up, even if I put nothing else on my brows, right? And what I've realized, I think, as I've gotten older, and I've seen a lot of people get older around me, is, to your point, how instrumental the eyebrow is to anyone's face. But I also think for women, because we wear makeup and we are who we are, you know, it is such a larger part of the story than I think before you were here talking about it and changing it and being the queen of it, then people actually really understood or considered. And I would argue to say that it's because of you that the eyebrows became such a focal point of not just Hollywood, the red carpet, the music industry, but like it's the thing that like I never noticed when I was young, and now it's like the first thing I look at, right? It's wild.
Yes, totally.
And I think
you could let them.
I think it's so interesting because I think, you know, people often ask me like, oh my God, Rachel, how did you build your brand? Did you always know you wanted to be a great stylist, or did you? No. The answer is no to any of it. I just kept outworking and working hard and trying to be the best and trying to do new things and trying to change women's lives and blah, blah, blah. There was no intention of, I want to build a brand to help dress women. Like that was never the purpose. And the way I answer that question is, I was never trying. Right. And I think the same applies for you, because I've known you for so long and I've watched so much of your journey that it is so effortless. And I think that you were just constantly trying to fill the void and the need for women's brows. But then I do want to touch on the like now gajillion-dollar brand that is your cosmetics brand. Your makeup is incredible.
Yes.
I mean, so you spun from eyebrows into everything.
Yes, yes. Well, it was my daughter that I think was a very, very important element to all this, creating this incredible brand when she started working with me. And I have so many people that they will say, oh, you are so lucky your daughter wanted to work with you. And I answer to everyone, no, she didn't want to work with me, but I had no choice because she needed to help me. And I felt guilty because I was working so many long hours and I was never spending time with her. And I thought working with me, I could see her.
Yep.
It's exactly what my mom did with me. And she came on board, and we used during the time when salon was closed, we used to travel around the country to promote the eyebrow products.
Yep.
And of course, she used to complain, I am so young and I work like I'm 40 years old. And when in 2012, when Instagram had the nobody paid attention to. She came to me one night, we had dinner, and she said, Mom, I think we should have a presence on Instagram, this app. We post pictures and we could promote our products and we don't need to travel maybe that much.
Yep.
I really didn't think that much. I was like, okay, let's try it. And we posted few picture of the brow wiz, the brow products. And it was very interesting how the people start responding to that. And one day, I will never forget this, we posted a picture of the brow wiz, and one of the comments was, oh, I wish I could buy this product. And of course, I answer, send me your address and I would love to send you one.
Right.
And she said, oh, no, you can't, because I live in a small village in India. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. When I will ever have the opportunity to reach a person in India.
Yep.
So that was it for me. And full force, then we dedicated so much time and passion and We start sending products to some of the people, that mothers that will put their kids in to sleep, and in their closet they will apply products. And this is how we start creating that beautiful community of influencers. And it was amazing. I mean, I think I give full credit to Claudia. She really built that.
And how, because it's so incredible. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to ask you what it was like to come up in this process with your daughter. Or, I mean, obviously I know her and I've seen what she's built with you. And I remember when you launched Instagram and you kept punting the credit to her, you wouldn't take it. You were like, this is all her. This is all her. So does she now feel that she built this with you? Like, does she not feel like, oh, I just work with my mom? Like, she has ownership of this? This is hers.
Oh, of course. She's the one that made the makeup products, because we did in 2014, of course, our Instagram, we're the only beauty brand that had a presence on Instagram in 2014, believe it or not. She came to me and she said, Mom, I think we need to expand. We should have more makeup and contouring, because every time when I will have my team educating them on the golden ratio, I always tell them, we need to think of eyebrows. The way I take all my notes and everything I learn in art classes and put it in this. I always ask myself, and I'm asking you right now,
when it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision-making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cap is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
My dad works in B2B marketing, but I never really knew what that meant. Then one day my dad came by my school for career day and told everyone in my class he was a big MQL man. Then he just kept saying things like, the more MQLs, the better, over and over. My friends still laugh at me to this day. I think it means marketing qualified lead. One thing's for sure. I'll be known as the MQL man's kid for the rest of my days. Why couldn't you just be a fireman or a lawyer? Why? You ruined my life, Dad.
Not everyone gets B2B, but LinkedIn has the people who do. And with ads on LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people based on job title, industry, likelihood to buy, and more. Start converting your B2B audience into high-quality leads today. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/customer to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/customer. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cup is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more. When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cup is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
Do you know why you use makeup? And everybody will like, no, because I've seen another makeup artist, or I went to a party and a makeup artist did, or my mom, or so nobody had the real answer. And I wanted to teach my daughter what is the meaning, because I need to understand myself and to make everybody that worked with me understand, and especially my daughter. And I always say this, we use makeup to create an illusion of perfect balance and proportion. So eyebrow is one element that is very important when you do your makeup, because it brings so much balance and proportion. Then another important element is contouring, because if you think about it, in art classes, we will get a piece of white paper with a pencil, and with shading, you create cheekbones, eyes, nose bridge, lips. So you create a 2D feature on a piece of paper. It's not 3D, because 3D is a completely different feature. But I took everything from the art classes and made myself and my daughter understand what exactly is the art of makeup. And she said, Mom, we should have a contour kit. Let's do it. Not that it didn't exist, but it was so important to kind of let everyone know, all the customer, everyone know how contouring and eyebrow are so important. So that was our first step into more makeup, because everything that we created in our makeup had to to have a meaning.
You had to have a purpose.
It had to have a purpose. We didn't come with, okay, everybody's bringing a blush, let's bring a blush. No.
Right.
Create the contour because it makes sense in my mind as an artist, as studying the art. I needed to understand and make the customer understand why they use the makeup. Because I remember in the early 90s, people will come with a picture of their, I don't know, favorite artist or favorite celebrity and say,
I want to look like this.
Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
Like, well, I look like Jennifer Lopez, but my bone structure is not like her. Let's analyze your face. You are beautiful. Let's find the best shape for yourself.
Yeah.
So this is how it works. And I wanted to make people understand that we are all beautiful. Like, let's find the best way to bring that beauty out by using correctly the makeup.
It's so interesting because I was an art student when I was younger, and the hardest part of art class in art school is doing portraits and making faces. And my father does it beautifully, and I cannot do it well. And it's because you can't get the eyes right, the eyebrows, the ears with the chin thing. So when you speak about it, I'm literally like imagining when I was shading and I was shading the brows, and whoever I made still looked crazy, right? It just never came out the way I wanted. And I think, to your point, approaching makeup in that same way and contouring the face and creating symmetry if it isn't there and all of that. But I think what's so incredible about what you've done is that there's people that have talent, but there's a skill that goes along with it. And I think obviously your drive is unparalleled, your work ethic. And I do understand about taking your daughter, because I think as a working mom, and obviously you came here with nothing and nothing except your child and your husband. But I think to watch your success now, I think it's clear to me just from knowing you and watching you and obviously seeing you achieve everything and beyond your work. I mean, you're literally and arguably one of the hardest working people I've ever known. It's very hard to find that same thing now, as I'm sure you know. In any industry. But I think what you managed to do, which should not be underestimated, is you managed to scale a service, right? And I think when I was a stylist, I remember my husband coming to me and being like, this is great. You're making tons of money. You're working 24/7. But you
have two hands.
You have two hands and you're one person. And you can only make as much as you can work, right? Ultimately. And so the question then is, how do you make this a business, and how do you not lose sight or integrity of the intention of the brand? And you have managed to, in my opinion, really win the ultimate challenge of maintaining Anastasia, the Queen of Brows, with the most incredible brand that people are obsessed with. So that's hard.
It's very hard. And I have to say that for me, it was the other way around. The way I thought was, I need to service clients that are not only in Beverly Hills or their travel.
Yes.
How I will be able to service people in Chicago, New York, Paris.
How do I touch as many women as possible?
How do I touch? Because I used to have clients coming from everywhere, and they used to say, well, I could come and see you only when I travel here, but we should have something in Chicago, something in, everywhere. I was lucky enough to partner with Nordstrom's, and we opened brow studios. And that was really a gate that was able me to do services everywhere. Because in the early 2000, people were not really educated. Not everybody was educated how to fill their eyebrows, to fill in. And putting the products on a display didn't really do too much. I needed to have an esthetician there. And this is how I convinced Nordstrom to open brow studios. So we have brow studios in all Nordstroms, and it's wonderful for so many years, like 25 years. That was the getaway for us to talk about, to educate the customers, to help them achieve the beautiful eyebrows.
Plus social media.
Yeah, complete 12 years later was social media.
It's really extraordinary. Honestly, it's so impressive.
You know what? What I want to say is that explore opportunities, okay? Because yes, was Nordstrom, they didn't think that, oh, we are not in service business. We are like, and I had to sit there and convince them that is really important to offer the clients the service, the education, because it's something new. So I needed to push the boundaries. I needed to push to convince them that this is important. Okay. Otherwise, if I will take no as an answer, we'll not have that many salons or brow studios. Then in 2012, when the Instagram came on, the app, I was ready to explore. I could say, no, this is crazy. No, I don't want. But I think there are opportunities and you have to jump. There are many things that they will not work, but there are many things that they will work. And you have to have that sense of this. I feel like I have this gut instinct. This is going to work. And you could go ahead and do it.
Which, by the way, I want to point out as an entrepreneur is terrifying because and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask you like sort of one of your, I'm sure you have many, but most important bits of advice or tips to share with people building something they really believe in, because it's terrifying. And you know, and I know how many businesses fail, how many ideas fail, how many everything fails. But I do think with failure comes learning, which, you know, some things that don't work kind of make you do something that then really does work. But I think a common thread with so many successful entrepreneurs is that, and I say it's not for the faint of heart to be an entrepreneur or CEO, is, you know, not taking no. You know, my dad used to say, Rachel, no is not a word, because I would say, why didn't you make me do this when I was whatever age? And they'll be like, Rachel, we can't make you do anything. Like there's no is not an option, right? Because you're going to figure out how to turn it into a yes. And listen, I think a lot of times that's a gift that women really have, strong women have, because it's sort of like, no, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make this work, right? Like I'm a warrior and I'm going to make this win and I'm going to make you believe what I'm telling you. But I think the challenge there sometimes is that when you're trying to convince people with the money, right? Or the background to sort of say, okay, we have the power to give you salons and stores all throughout our brand, right? And you're like, I'm telling you this is going to work. I'm telling you this is going to work. But was there ever that fear you had of, shit, what if this doesn't work? And they just like, did you ever have that? Or you were like, no, it's working? No,
because I really am a good strategist. When I go into something, I will explore and I will make sure that 90% will be a success. Of course, there are many times will not be a success, but I always like to have plan A and plan B. If plan A doesn't work, immediately I will switch to plan B. I think it's important to be prepared. And if you fail, you don't start crying and look what you did wrong. Mm-hmm. You know, it didn't work. I'm going to change and move on and do some other things, because I don't have the time to cry what I did wrong. You know, I want to be focused on things that they will succeed. And I think it's important. It was important for me to practice that. I mean, remember when even I wanted to rent the salon in Beverly Hills on Bedford, the owner didn't want to rent me the place because he didn't believe I would be able to pay rent doing eyebrows. Nobody believed me. But, you know, I really believed in my craft. I really believed that women got that sense of, I love it. I want to come every 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. I think that community gave me the confidence that if they want it, this is going to be successful. So kind of in a way, they were the ones, the celebrity that validated my work, the everyday clients, they gave me that confidence, you know? So I said to myself from 1992, when I worked in a small little room in Juan Salon until 96, when I decided to open the salon, I thought, all these women, they believe in me, it's going to work. Mm-hmm. So
and they all followed you and still won't have a brow day without you.
Yes, which is the biggest compliment for me. I mean, I work all my life for that.
Do you still do brows yourself?
Yes,
you do.
I still do.
You still do.
Yeah. I do brows still, and I go to the salon because I still approve every batch, that every PO that we have to put. I approve before they start producing. I have to approve the color because all my products are made like everybody else, made of natural products from the soil. So it's a variance of colors, of texture, so the products even has the same formula, could vary. So I want to make sure is the same color over and over, the same texture, is not too hard, is not too soft. So it's a lot of work. It's not easy, but I love it.
Do you ever just sit there? I mean, tell me. I know I don't, but I'd like to know that you do. Do you ever sit there and literally just go, I cannot believe what I've done? Like, do you ever say, do you ever have a moment? Because I do feel as women, we're constantly going and trying to do more and do better. Do you ever stop and look at what you have built and say, okay, good job, Anastasia. like you did well.
Sometimes I do, and I feel like I'm afraid even to look.
Yeah, of course, you didn't want to say it.
Oh my God, like this is scary. I never in my wildest dream, I wanted to be significant. I wanted to do things, but I never thought that I will be here. And I'm so grateful. Actually, gratitude is one thing that I wake up every morning and I have to do my prayers, and I'm excited and continue to be excited. I think what another important element that me and my daughter are focused on is we work like we can pay our rent. It's like is that thirst that I want to create more products and better products, and if we have something that maybe we could improve something because the technology is different. We have this drive that is incredible, and this purpose, this feeling of purpose every day to wake up and keep doing. Like, remember, we don't need to work. Okay?
No, I know. By the way, and that's the thing. And I was trying to figure out a proper way to say that. But at this point, you could absolutely, it's like I said to Tracy Cunningham when she was on, it's like, Tracy's still there doing 20 clients a day and flying all over the world to do her clients. But I think it is very rare at this point, at least from where I sit, to find the Anastasia and the Tracy and the it's, and I think that the most common thread for my listeners that I would love to point out is that without question, the overriding win here is that they are the hardest working, most passionate, about what you do, and also tried to fill a void of something that didn't exist, but also something that was important to you as a woman, right?
Yes.
It has to resonate with you. In order to build a brand, it has to be something that is not necessarily unique to you, but organic to you and a part of what you believe in. And I think for you, it's the mission and the obsession with, I think, continuing on that mission for so many women. You're not just like, okay, I have enough money, I can peace out now. You're not doing that.
No.
And I also want to point out for any of my listeners that maybe don't know, which I can't imagine, but that I don't think there's a person in this world that, anyone has ever heard of, i.e. Kardashians and everyone else on the planet, that you've seen on a carpet, but that you haven't done or will have anyone touch their brows besides you. But I think that what I love so much about you is that you will speak to, talk, and work with and try and transform an everyday woman that walks into your salon the same way you would to Kris Jenner, who's your friend and client forever, or any of your clients forever. And I think that's part of the magic.
I believe every woman is beautiful and she deserves to feel beautiful and look beautiful. Everyone. We all want that.
Yeah.
So I think we all deserve to do that. And I feel like if I could do a 10%, and I could improve your look, your confidence. I mean, I remember years spending at the salon, and the moment I will give my client the mirror, she will feel like a smile on her face. That you can buy that. That's incredible. That was my battery, keep me going all the time, because to see that joy and that happiness on somebody's face, it's incredible. So when I make up products, I envision a client is going to have this, and she's going to fill in her eyebrows, and she will know that this color, this product is different. She will feel it. She will feel my hard work, my desire to make her feel beautiful. It's with a purpose. Everything has to be with a purpose.
I agree. You can't do it in a vacuum.
No.
Well, I have a question. So what, if anything, is next? And what is the biggest tip, the biggest Anastasia tip that we can leave on? Like if you have brows that are, let's just say you're a woman in your 40s or 50s and your brows have thinned out, what is your number one, like, and listen, it's not one size fits all, as we know, but if you could do one thing, what would you say?
Well, first, I think I have a serum that, of course, I created even for myself to maintain a healthy environment around the hair follicle.
Okay.
Because of hormonal imbalance, so many reasons, over tweezing, so many reasons why we lose the end of the eyebrow, or we over tweeze the overall eyebrows. So I use first the serum, then try to pick your perfect pencil, powder, deep brow, whatever it's easy for you. This is how I instruct all my salespeople. Do not recommend anything that the client is not comfortable to use. And then the right color for you. And then you use brow gel or brow freeze to hold that for the rest of the day.
I have brow freeze on right now. I have brow freeze and the pencil. I have three of your products in my brows right now.
Yes. So the key is you could go to any place. Now with the social media, you could go, we have videos, we have everything you need. Or you could go in a store in Nordstrom's and they will shape your eyebrows, give you all the advice, pick the right color for you.
I think that's the hardest part. As someone who can do their makeup and knows a lot about makeup, I find that the color is the biggest challenge, because I think some people don't know, do I match my eyebrows to my hair? Do I make it darker? When is it too dark? When is it too,
That's a good question, and I'm going to answer to you. So always there are two colors to create the perfect eyebrows. Think about a full eyebrow. You want to mimic a full eyebrow. So the light is going to create the shadow of the full eyebrows on the skin. So you pick one shade of a pencil. Let's say you use pencil. One shade that is lighter than your eyebrow hair.
Okay.
And you create the shape, your desired shape. Okay. You fill in and you blend. Then you take one pencil or a brow pen or anything just to create hairs like strokes that matches exactly your eyebrow hair.
I've seen you do that. Actually, it's magic. It's like sketching. It's like pencil sketching with art. It's like I've seen you do that. I think you've done that on me, and it was actually game changing. I was like, how did you do that? Oh my god!
That it's kind of a secret in
Oh my god! Okay, and so that one to match or to be a shade darker?
One shade dark. No, to match your hair. Unless you have super light hair, you will use, like, let's say you have such a blonde eyebrow, you cannot see it. Then you could use one shade darker. But usually it should match your eyebrow hair. Okay. Like, for instance, my eyebrow hair, it's dark. So it's a medium brown color. Okay. I use first to create the shape, a soft brown, which is shade lighter. Okay. And to create hairs like strokes, I use medium brown. That is the color of my hair.
Got it. Okay. That's so helpful. I feel like everyone is going to literally write that down, record it, hang up, and go draw their eyebrows now. Well,
Yes.
I love you so much. I can't wait to see what's next. And if there's nothing next, I think you're pretty good. No, just kidding. I'm sure there's that. What is next? Tell me.
Innovation is very important for us. We just launched the beauty balm that is incredible. It's like makeup, no makeup. It's a medium coverage foundation. It's almost BB cream, has 8 active ingredients, skincare ingredients in. It's amazing.
So excited.
And then we just launched the Blur Blush, beautiful with a very thin tip that easily you could put it and you could use your finger or a brush. And we continue to innovate. It's very important for us to innovate. We want to offer our clients something that they expect or don't even expect, but they will love it.
And I don't think there's anywhere we can't find your products now, because I think they're literally all over the world. Like my friends who live in Dubai and London, they're just, everyone has your brand in their bags at all times, which is so extraordinary. And, you know, as I said earlier, I've watched you build this. I mean, I felt like from the beginning, but there was a beginning before the beginning when I met you. But honestly, I love your passion. I love your work ethic. I adore you. You are such a girl's girl. You are such a hard worker. You are really the queen of, I mean, I don't even want to say of brows. I say that just because that's how I met you, but I think of just so much more. And somehow you've managed to be an incredible mom, CEO, and friend to like all the women that just love you so much. And it's so impressive. And I love watching it. And I mean, like I said, very, very few people I know deserve the success that you have earned brick by brick, honestly. So I love it. I'm always rooting for you. I'm always supporting, and I just love you. And I'm so happy to have you on. And I'm going to let you get back to your probably very busy day.
Thank you. I appreciate your help, your support, and the love that you show me and my brand. I really appreciate.
Always.
And I'm so proud of you. You. I remember you. You were like a little doll. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you as well. And you have a beautiful family, beautiful kids.
Thank you.
You've done it, my friend.
Listen, we're just working, right? We're just still.
But that's good.
Well, we love it, right? We keep going.
Yes. What else you will do?
If I stop loving it, I stop doing it. All right. Well, I adore you. Have a beautiful summer, and I'm sure I'll see you a lot.
Same to you and everybody else. Thank you.
If you want more Climbing in Heels content, follow me on @RachelZoe and @ClimbingInHeelsPod on Instagram for more updates on upcoming guests, episodes, and of course, all things Curator.